Today we have to listen Sankhara-Khanda under 11 headings. Is from Anattalakkhana Sutta. Yekeji Sankhara Dita Nagata Bichopana Ijatawa Beidawa Olarikawa Sukhumawa Hinawa Banitawa Yedure Sandikewa Sabbe Sankhara Nitamama Niso Masami Na Miso Atati Ewamitam Yatabuddha Samabinya Yatatabam. Buddha stated, whatever Sankhara, whether past, future or present, internal or external, gross or fine, inferior or superior, far or near, should be observed, should be seen with own knowledge as they truly are, that this is not mine, this is not me, this is not myself. Here, 11 Sankhara, past Sankhara, future Sankhara, present Sankhara, internal Sankhara, external Sankhara, gross Sankhara, fine Sankhara, inferior Sankhara, superior Sankhara, far Sankhara, and near Sankhara. Yogi have to observe all these Sankhara with your own knowledge as they truly are. These Sankhara, volitional activities, are not mine. These Sankhara, volitional activities are not me. These Sankhara, volitional activities are not myself. There is the exaltation of our Lord Buddha to contemplate on Sankhara, volitional activities under 11 headings, such as past, present, or future, etc., analytically so as to bring out the anicca, dukkha, and anatta, impermanent suffering and non-self characteristics of Sankhara. Sankhara, you're very familiar, these volitional activities. When you observe Sankhara, how do you know these Sankharas permanent or impermanent? These Sankhara volitional activities are impermanent. Sankharas are volitional motivation responsible for physical, verbal, and mental actions. There are 50 kinds of mental concomitants headed by Cetana, volition. Sankhara volitional activities cover an extensive field. The motivating power behind all physical actions such as going, standing, sitting, lying, bending, stretching, moving is the Sankhara. The vocal actions are also caused by the same Sankhara agent. Now I'm giving Dhamma talk. I am talking as urged by the Sankhara. While thus talking and speaking, every word uttered has been primed by the Sankhara. It is the Sankhara also which is the back of all our thoughts and imagination. If people not mindful, if people not practice meditation, they think that all the actions, physical, verbal, and mental, are being done by me, self. And this self, the doer, is believed to be everlasting, permanent. But the yogi who is ever mindful of the physical movement, sitting, standing, lying down, etc., if he is mindful of the rising and falling of deep domain, he takes note of any activities of the mind as soon as it occurs. Chetana volition, accompanied by lobha, desire, is perceived by the yogi to be arousing the desire to want and urging to go after that which is wanted. The yogi captured that lobha. Yogi notes these mental activities as liking, wanting, wanting. Associated with dosa, volition appears as anger and outrage that is to be noted as anger. When headed by delusion, moha, wrong actions are thought about. These thoughts have to be noted. These thoughts have to be captured. These lobha, dosa, moha, these sankhara are akusala. In the family, there are conflict. In the country, there are conflict. Because of these, lobha, dosa, and moha, akusala sankhara. When associated with conceit or ego, He becomes bloated with ego and he has to get rid of the sankhara by noting conceit, conceit. When accompanied by envy, jealousy, avariciousness, it manifests as avariciousness. And these sankhara should be noted as jealousy, avariciousness, etc. Now, kusala sankhara, wholesome sankhara, wholesome mental formation or volitional activities. When volition appears associated with faith and confidence, devotion and piety, develop towards the Buddha, the true Dharma, true Buddha, true Sangha, urging you to pay homage and respect to them. These thoughts, these wholesome sankhara are noted as they arise as devotion, piety, etc. Now you understand akusala. Unwholesome leads to unwholesome results. Chetana may manifest itself, discouraging one from it, hindering it. Wholesome leads to wholesome results. Chetana may arise for one to practice it. In a similar manner, volition may manifest in a number of ways and as such should be noted. It may appear accompanied by mindfulness, heedful of the fact at such and such a time, such a wholesome act will be done. It may arise in various manner, and the mental attitude of those moments should be noted. Sometimes metta, loving kindness, arise with volition. There appears feeling of benevolence to other people, thinking of ways of making others people happy. That metta, sankhara, should be carefully noted. Sometimes compassion, volition arises, having pity on other people and thinking of how to help other people out of suffering. All these mental attitudes are wholesome sankhara. These should be carefully noted. So they are responsible for the four bodily positions of going, standing, sitting, and lying down. It is as if they are giving commands. Go now. Go now. Stand. Stand. Now Sankhara is urging you, sit down. Sit down. They also bring about actions of bending, stretching, moving, smiling, etc., as if they are issuing order to bend, stretch, smile, laugh, or cry. So these are the sankhara. It is also these sankhara which are causing vocal action as if they are ordering, say, speak, etc. And also they are also responsible for acts of thinking, seeing, hearing, etc. In this way, the sankhara of the past existences, the wish to go, the wish to stand, the wish to speak, could not come over to the present existence. It is clear. They all perish and pass away then and there. It is obvious, of course, that the desire to do, desire to talk, desire to think in previous existence had all ceased and vanished. But if not mindful, those who cling firmly to the belief, it is I who is doing all actions, all actions are being done by me, are attached to the idea of a single self. It is I who had done all the actions in the previous existence. The doer in the present existence is also I. They cling to belief in this way. For them, holding on to this atta clinging, the doer I, is everlasting. Here yogi are practicing, yogi are observing every phenomena. A yogi is watching the rising and falling of the abdomen. If itchy feeling is felt during the course of noting, yogi notes itching, itching, itching. Yogi capture the itching sensation and the body. They are not the same. Body is body, itching is itching. While noting in this way, if the desire to scratch, the itchy spot arises, yogi notes at once, one to scratch, one to scratch. That is sankhara, you capture. Then the sankhara, namely desire to scratch, is seen disappearing every time you note. Also while noting stiff, because of the feeling of stiffness, if the desire to bend or stretch appears, it has to be noted. So the Sankharas, namely desire to bend, desire to stretch, desire to change postures, perish when noted, vanish when noted, keep on perishing. In this manner, Sankharas of the wishing to change, Sankhara of the wishing to talk, Sankhara of the wishing to think, are seen to be ceasing and perishing away. For the yogis who keeps on meditating, not to say of the Sankhara of the past existences, the presently forming Sankhara are seen to be perishing incessantly, thus perceiving yogi knows the Sankharas of the past existences have not come over to the present. The present Sankhara will also not go over to the future. The future Sankharas will also not move over to the future of much later time. These Sankharas vanish away at the moment of arising. Yogi realizes with his own knowledge that Sankharas, foolish activities, are impermanent. Foolish activities are suffering. Foolish activities are of the nature of non-self. So now you contemplate how Sankhara are considered with regard to three aspects of existence. These Sankhara of the past existence, desiring to do, desiring to talk, cease to exist in the past. They do not reach the present moment. Consequently, they are of the nature of anicca, dukkha, and anatta, impermanent, suffering, and non-self. How about this present existence? The Sankhara of the present existence, present moment, desiring to do, desiring to talk, will not extend to the future existence, future moment. As they are perishing and vanishing away now, they are of the nature of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. How about the future? The Sankhara which will arise in the future, desiring to do, desiring to talk, will not go over to the future of much later time. They will perish and decay at the moment of their arising, and so they are of the nature of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. There is how Sankharas manifesting as desire to go, desire to do, desire to talk, etc. are considered with regard to three aspects of existence. Now you are meditating, you are contemplating. So how you observe? You are observing how they are treated when contemplating on them. When you walk, you capture the Sankhara, desire to walk, desire to step out with the right foot, desire to step out with the left foot. You capture the Sankhara. The desire of a moment ago to step out with the right foot does not reach the moment of desiring to step out with the left foot. Desire of a moment ago to step out with the left foot does not reach the moment of desiring to step out with the right foot. These sankharas perish and vanish away at the respective moment of their arising, and is therefore of the nature of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Now the presently arising sankhara. Pichopana. The presently forming sankhara of desiring to do, a sankhara of desiring, a sankhara of careful noting, do not reach the next moment. They keep on perishing and decaying as they are forming, and these presently forming sankhara are of the nature of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. How about the future? The sankhara which will arise in the future concerning the desire to do and careful noting. Desire and noting will also perish and decay without reaching the future of a much later moment. So the future sankhara are consequently of the nature of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Based on the knowledge of the sankharas, which occur at the time of noting, what can be considered by inference? Yogi can infer, yogi can consider by inference the sankhara of the past and the sankhara of the future, sankhara of the whole universe can be considered by inference in this manner. Because you see the present sankhara very clearly. Just like the impermanent sankhara of wishing to do and knowing the noting, which are perishing even while being noted now, so also had the sankhara of the past vanished at the time of occurrence. And so they are of the nature of impermanent suffering and non-self. In this way, the sankhara of the coming future, such as wishing to do, etc., will also disappear at the respective moments of their occurrence, and they are of the nature of impermanent suffering and non-self. The sankhara of our own person, sankhara in other people, and the whole wide universe also perish and vanish, like the sankhara which are being noted at the present moment. They are all of the nature of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Then we go to the another sankhara, Ichatta and Bahita sankhara. The internal and external aspects of sankhara. The method of differentiation between the internal and external sankhara is the same as the one we have observed for Vedana and Sanya. They are mental group. Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, or a mental group. The sankhara of thinking of an internal object is the internal sankhara, Ichatta sankhara. That which developed concerning an external object is the external sankhara. That is, thinking of acquiring external animate or inanimate things, or bring destruction to them, is external sankhara. Now you contemplate in this way. These sankharas concerning intention to do as internal actions come to termination and perish before reaching the moment of thinking of an external actions. So you understand these sankhara are of the nature of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Similarly, with respect to sankhara concerning on external actions. Then another sankhara, Olarika sankhara and Sukuma sankhara. Some sankhara are Olarika, rough actions or coarse actions. Sankhara related with suicidal case. Some Sankharas are fine and subtle. Sankhara concerning to help other people. Thinking of doing a rough actions or coarse actions is Sankhara of Olarika type, coarse type. Contemplating on doing fine, subtle deeds is Sukhuma, Sankhara of fine types. Now yogi observe, Sankhara of coarse type, rough type, do not become Sankhara of fine type. The Sankhara of fine types do not become Sankhara of coarse types. These Sankhara perish at the moment of their arising, and they are of the nature of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Yogi understand. Then we go to another Sankhara, Hina Panita. Hina inferior, Panita superior. All kinds of thinking about doing bad deeds are inferior Sankhara. Hina Sankhara. Thinking of and doing meritorious deeds are superior Sankhara, Panita Sankhara. Of the meritorious deeds, keeping precepts, Sila, is superior to acts of giving charity. Sila is superior to acts of dana. Meditation is superior to keeping precepts. Vipassana is superior to keeping sila. And insight meditation, Vipassana meditation is superior to concentration meditation, samatha meditation. So step by step, becoming superior. First you perform dana, then sila, then samatha, then vipassana. Vipassana is superior. Vipassana is better than samatha. Samatha is better than sila. Sila is better than dana. You are mindful of every sankhara clearly. Then yogi understand, inferior sankhara do not reach the moment of arising of superior sankhara, and superior sankhara do not reach the moment of arising of inferior sankhara. They perish at the respective moment of their arising, and they are of the nature of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. And you understand the Sankhara of charitable deeds, dana, do not reach the moment of arising of Sankhara of keeping precepts, sila. And the Sankhara of keeping precepts do not reach the moment of arising of the Sankhara of charitable deeds. Sometimes you observe sila, sometimes you do dana, you perform dana. They are different. Different episode, different phenomena. You understand clearly. The Chetana Sankhara of keeping precepts do not reach the moment of arising of Sankhara of meditation. And the Chetana Sankhara of meditation do not reach the moment of arising of Chetana Sankhara of keeping moral precepts. And the Chetana Sankhara of the development of concentration meditation do not reach the moment of arising of Sankhara of insight meditation. The Chetana Sankhara of the development of Vipassana meditation do not reach the moment of arising of Sankhara of Samatha meditation. All these Sankhara vanish at the moment of their arising, and you clearly see these Sankhara are of the nature of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Contemplating on Sankhara of unwholesome and wholesome deeds is very subtle, but you are observing continuously. The constantly meditating yogi can know by his or her own personal knowledge how these Sankhara evolution activities keeps on vanishing at the respective moment of their arising. For instance, now you are practicing sitting meditation, you are noting the rising and falling of the abdomen. If thinking about wanting, desiring arises, you capture, you note that phenomena as wanting, wanting, desiring, desiring. When noted in this way, thinking about wanting and desiring vanish before reaching the moment of wholesome deeds of noting. Some advanced yogi, the yogi who has advanced to the stage of Binganyana, knowledge of dissolution, knows this phenomenon rightly and well, then yogi feels glad, having as his object the act of charity. Yogi note glad, glad. When you perform charity, when you do dana, you happy, you note it, happy, happy. When noted in this way, the yogi who has reached the stage of Binganyana, knowledge of dissolution, sees clearly the Sankhara of the wholesome deeds or contemplating on dana, charity, vanish before reaching the moment of noting. First you do dana and then vipassana. In addition, while noting the rising and falling of the abdomen, when random thoughts arises, you note it. When noted in this way, the sankhara of noting the rising and falling of the abdomen vanish without reaching the moment of rising of the random thoughts. The sankhara of random thoughts also vanish without reaching the moment of noting it as a random thought. In this manner, the yogi perceives each and every sankhara, volitional activities perishing away before it reaches the moment of rising of another sankhara, another volitional activities. If the yogi does not perceive the phenomena in the way, it must be said that the yogi has not yet reached the stage of development of that type of jnana, vipassana knowledge. And the last sankhara is Dure sankhara and Sandike sankhara. Sankhara of thoughts arising from distant and sankhara of thoughts arising near, far and near, distant and near. Sankhara of thoughts arising from distant object do not reach the moment of thoughts on near objects. Some sankhara arising from distant object and some sankhara arising near object. When you observe, you clearly see sankhara of thoughts arising from distant objects do not reach the moment of thoughts on near object. Sankhara of thoughts arising from near do not reach the moment of thoughts arising from distance. All these sankhara vanish at the respective moments of their arising and are therefore of the nature of anicca, dukkha, and anatta, impermanent, suffering, and non-self. So 11 sankhara you understand. Adita nagata pichopana, ijatawa vedawa, olarikawa sukhumawa, hinawa panitawa, yandure sandikewa. Past sankhara, future sankhara, present sankhara, internal sankhara, external sankhara, cross sankhara, fine sankhara, inferior sankhara, superior sankhara. far Sankhara and near Sankhara. Whatever Sankhara, whether past, future or present, internal or external, gross or fine, inferior or superior, far or near, all Sankhara should be observed with our own knowledge as they truly are. And we need to understand that these Sankhara are not mine, these Sankhara are not me, these Sankhara are not myself. So these are the enumerations of Sankhara, mental formation under 11 heads. If you practice meditation, Sankharas are very important. There are many conflicts in the family, many conflicts in the world because of unwholesome Sankhara, Lobha, Dosa and Moha, greed, anger and delusion. So we need to capture these Sankhara and overcome these Sankhara. So we have to stop our discourse for today by practicing Vipassana meditation, by observing every Sankhara, whether past, future or present, internal or external, gross or fine, inferior or superior, far or near. May all yogis observe and capture these all Sankhara by noting, rising, falling, sitting, touching, seeing, hearing, continuously and meticulously. May all yogis realize the real peace. May all yogis be liberated from all suffering. Sadhu, 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 sadhu.